Most companies still treat ESG like a reporting exercise, and that is exactly why they miss the real opportunity. Because ESG is not just about disclosures, scores, or compliance. At the corporate level, ESG is about one thing: does it create or protect business value? If ESG can reduce cost, avoid losses, generate revenue, protect revenue, or lower financing risk, then it belongs in the boardroom, not just in sustainability report. So in this video, I am going to show you how ESG becomes ROI, how it connects to finance ratios, and how corporates can actually implement it step by step. Hi, I am Dr. Shruti Sharma and welcome back to Simplifying Sustainability with Shruti. Today we are going to break down ESG in plain business language. Not jargon, not theory, not fluffy sustainability talk. Just a simple, practical framework that shows how sustainability becomes cash flow, how cash flow becomes ROI, and how ROI becomes enterprise value. So by the end of this video, you will understand the ESG ROI formula, the four ways ESG creates value, the finance ratios that matter, and the NYU Stern ROSI, which is Return on Sustainability Investment Logic, and the step-by-step method why corporates can follow. So let's start with the real problem. Most companies fail to get ESG approved because they speak in sustainability language, while finance teams think in cash flow language. And that is why ESG often gets seen as a cost center. But the truth is, ESG is not the problem. The framing is the problem. If you can't show how ESG affects cost, revenue, risk, or return, then leadership will struggle to see it business value. And that is why so many sustainability initiatives stay trapped in reports instead of becoming part of business strategy. Now let's make it simple. According to value-based sustainability frameworks, ESG usually creates value in four ways. 1. Cost reduced. 2. Cost avoided. 3. Revenue generated. And 4. Revenue protected. And this is the easiest way to explain ESG to any business leader. So if a company uses less energy, that is cost reduced. If it avoids a fine, a shutdown, or a supply chain disruption, that is cost avoided. If it enters a new green market or sells a better product, that is revenue generated. If it keeps customer trust, market access, or long-term contracts, that is revenue protected. So ESG is not just about doing the right thing. It is about creating measurable business value. Let's talk about the formula. A simple ESG ROI formula, which is equal to operating cost savings plus financing benefits plus penalties avoided minus implementation cost divided by implementation cost into 100. Now let me break that down for you. Now, what is operating cost savings? This means savings from lower electricity bill, lower water use, lower waste disposal cost, lower fuel use, better logistics, or better process efficiency. What is financing benefits? This means cheaper borrowing, better lending terms, or lower cost of capital because the company looks less risky to investors and lenders. What is penalties avoided? This means fines, legal cost, compliance losses, shutdown cost, or disruption losses that the company does not have to pay. What is implementation cost? This is the money spent on ESG systems, technology, trainings, audits, reporting, and execution. So ESG ROI simply asks, how much value did we create compared to what we invested? And that is the question finance leaders understand. Now, let me explain ESG ratios that management already knows. The first one is EBITDA margin. EBITDA means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. EBITDA margin is equal to EBITDA divided by revenue into 100. In simple terms, this shows how much operating profit a company keeps from its sales before financing and accounting items. If ESG reduces energy cost or waste cost, EBITDA margin improves. The second is operating margin. Now, operating margin is equal to operating profit divided by revenue into 100. Now, this shows how efficiently the core business is running. If ESG improves energy efficiency, process efficiency, or resource use, operating margin can go up. The third is gross margin, which is equal to gross profit divided by revenue into 100. Now, this shows how much is left after direct production costs. If ESG reduces scrap, raw material loss, or inefficient sourcing, gross margin improves. Then it's return on assets, ROA, which is equal to net profit divided by total assets. Now, this tells us how well the company uses its assets to generate profit. So, if ESG improves your plant efficiency or reduces your downtime, ROA can improve. Then it's ROE, which is return on equity, equal to net profit divided by shareholders' equity. Now, this tells us how much profit the company generates from owners' money. So, if ESG strengthens profitability or reduces risk, ROE may improve. And then last, it's weighted average cost of capital or WACC. Now, this is the average cost of money a company pays to lenders and investors. So, if ESG reduces risk and increases trust, financing may become cheaper and your weighted average cost of capital will go down. Company value can go up. And that is why ESG is not just a sustainability topic, it is a valuation topic too. Now let's bring the NYU Stern logic. Now, NYU Stern return on sustainability investment or ROSI gives a practical method for connecting sustainability to business value. And let me give you a simple version. The step one is to identify the material ESG issue. Do not measure everything. Start with the ESG issue that matters more to the business. For example, energy use, water stress, employee turnover, supply chain compliance, waste, safety, governance. Step two, identify the sustainability practice. What exactly is the company doing? For example, switching to renewable energy, improving worker safety, building supply chain traceability, reducing packaging waste, improving resource efficiency. Step 3, define the business benefit. Ask what changes because of that practice. For example, lower cost, better productivity, lower turnover, stronger customer loyalty, fewer disruptions, and stronger reputation. And step 4, quantify the benefit. Now translate that change into numbers, which is how much cost is saved, how much revenue is protected, how much productivity improves, and how much risk is reduced. And finally, step 5, which is monetize the benefit, convert the benefit into money. And that is where sustainability becomes a business case. Because once the benefit is monetized, finance teams can understand it. Now let's make this practical. If a company wants to implement ESG in a way that creates business value, let me in the last give you a step-by-step simple approach, which is almost similar to our NYU ROSI method. Now the first one can be diagnose. Identify the most material ESG issues for the businesses. What matters most in your sector? What creates the biggest risk or opportunity? Phase two can be to measure the current reality or baseline. What are the current energy costs? What is the current turnover rate? What is the current waste cost? What are the current penalties, disruptions, or compliance risk? Phase three will be to classify each ESG initiative into one of the four buckets to map value, which is cost reduced, cost avoided, revenue generated, and revenue protected, as I mentioned initially. Phase 4 will be to monetize, which we can use the NYU Stern ROSI method to quantify the benefit and convert it into financial terms. And in the last, which is phase 5, translate into financial ratios, which is show the impact on EBITDA margin, operating margin, gross margin, ROA, ROE, and weighted average cost of capital. Now put ESG into CAPEX approvals, procurement, product design, risk management, performance dashboard, and leadership incentives. And that is how ESG moves from reporting to management. Now let's make it real. Imagine a company invests in energy efficient equipment. What happens? Electricity consumption drops, operating costs goes down, EBITDA margin improves, cash flow improves, the company may look more efficient to investors. That is ESG creating cost reduction and value. Now imagine a company improves supply chain traceability. What happens? Compliance risk drops, market access improves, penalties are avoided, revenue is protected. And that is ESG and risk management and revenue protection. That is why ESG is not one dimensional. It affects business value in multiple ways at the same time. So here is the big takeaway. ESG is not powerful because it sounds responsible. ESG is powerful because it changes the economics of business. When ESG reduces cost, protects revenue, improves margins, lowers risk, and strengthens valuation, it stops being a sustainability side project. It becomes a business strategy. And that is the future of corporate sustainability. From reporting to ROI, from ESG to enterprise value, and from compliance to competitive advantage. So if you can explain ESG in finance language, you can make it real for every corporate leader. And that is how sustainability becomes value. And that is how companies future-proof growth simply. Thank you.